Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And now we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. We definitely want you guys to stick around for. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, today we're going to be discussing John Morant once again. Now, I don't know if some of you are aware, but there's a report that came out yesterday, and I saw it from Adrian Wojnarowski on Instagram, where he basically released this information that John Morant now, I believe, is in a facility in Florida to basically help him work through whatever issues he may be having internally, right? So John Morant is going to be gone for an indefinite amount of time. And when we did that live discussing the news about him being, Coca-Cola and these guys removing their ads and all of their ad campaigns that they created for John Morant, we said in that article, and in that live, as we were reacting to a particular article, that they were using these days in terms of games that they suspended him in order to come up with a appropriate sanction for him. That's what the article said. And some people say, well, the article was saying he'll be back by March 15th. And I'm like, that doesn't mean he's coming back to play basketball. So as it currently stands, it looks like John Morant is going to be out indefinitely. I heard Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp talking about it today. They believe that he may even be gone for the rest of the season, right? So that's what we know of as of now. Now, this morning here, was doing some research, and I came across a pretty interesting article for fadeawayworld.net that I believe had some pretty interesting information that I think you guys will find interesting. So let me just get into this article here. It starts off with the headline: John Morant may lose out on $39 million by not making all NBA team because of recent controversies. Let me continue on. John Morant might have caused major damage to his bright young career with his latest gun controversy. Morant is taking an indefinite amount of time away from the team and getting counseling over his issues, but this might have massive financial ramifications for the young star. With news that John Morant has entered counseling in Florida, it's hard to imagine him making all NBA team, which I think would have been likely without these incidents. Not making all NBA team would cost him about $39 million, reducing his contract from a projected 5-year $233 million to 5 years $194 million. It continues on. If Ja fails to make an all-NBA team this season, he won't be eligible for the rookie supermax that nets him $233 million over 5 seasons. He'll be reduced to a regular rookie max that pays out $194 million over the same contract length. You heard what that article just had to say there. I want to quickly read something else on the on the supermax contract from another article that we're getting from franchisesports.co.uk. Basically, it says, how does the supermax work? Before we go to the supermax, let's look at the max contract first. Players that have at least 6 years of experience in the NBA are eligible for max salary starting at 25% of the team's salary cap. This goes up to 30% for players with 7 to 9 years of experience, and goes up to further to even 35% for players with 10 or more years of experience. With the Supermax rule, players can achieve the 35% maximum salary without having 10 or more years of experience by meeting a certain criteria. The Supermax allows teams to re-sign qualified players to maximum 5-year contracts worth up to 35% of the salary cap with an 8% increase each year. This is also known as the designated veteran player extension. Here's another part. What are the criteria for a player to be eligible for Supermax? The Supermax eligibility is as follows. First, only a player that has had at least 7 years of experience in the NBA by the end of the current contract is eligible to sign a Supermax. This can be offered by the team that drafted him or acquired his rookie contract via trade. Second, a player must meet at least one of the Supermax performance criteria: be named to an All-NBA team in the most recent season or 2 in the last 3 seasons, be named Defensive Player of the Year in the most recent season or 2 in the last 3 seasons, be named MVP in a previous MVP in any of the 3 previous seasons. If you go back to this article here, the first one I read for you, it says, with the news that Ja Morant has entered counseling in Florida, it is hard to imagine him making all NBA, which I think would have been most likely without these incidents. Not making all NBA would cost him about $39 million. There have been people that have been watching these shows that we're producing around this story asking this question, which is, what exactly has Ja Morant done, or what is he doing that's causing all of these things to happen? Based on the report I just read to you, it is quite clear to see that the actions that Ja Morant has been taking is literally now causing him to lose tens of millions of dollars. You see, we're only highlighting what he stands to lose over a 5-year window on that contract. We're not talking about him potentially losing a sponsor in Powerade or any other sponsor that wanted to work with him in the future. So this is a very, very, very costly mistake. Here's the other thing that some people are saying. Well, I don't see the issue with you carrying a weapon, blah, 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 blah. What these people need to realize is that Ja Morant is not just a regular citizen walking down the road. Ja Morant is an employee of an NBA team called the Memphis Grizzlies that is part of a league called the NBA. And the NBA has certain rules and stipulations and best practices and behaviors that you have to adhere to. That is one of the rules that they have, that you cannot have a weapon on team practice facility grounds and an arena and all of that. That's just their rule. So it may be okay for him to do that in public or wherever else, but he's not allowed to do that on their premises. It's their rule, it's their league. That's number one. Number two, any behavior that his sponsors feel do not represent their brand, they want no parts of it. It is literally that simple. They do not want any parts of it. They don't want to be associated with that type of press. So it's really not very complicated. He's blowing his money by doing all of these things. And this is why it's not good to say, oh, well, just let him live. By you saying, well, just let him live, is like, you're like, yo, well, let's just let him keep making all these mistakes. If he ends up making $100 million mistake over the course of his career, so what? He's a young guy. He got to make his mistakes. That's crazy. That's crazy. And we all know that's not the advice you would give your kids. So why are you giving it to somebody else's child? Why are you giving someone else's kid some bad advice, and advice you know you would not give to one of your own kids? Like, come on. So this is what the article had to say. And also, I think it's important that I say this quickly in closing. There are going to be some people here, not a lot, but I want to address this quickly. It's going to take me about 60 seconds or 90 seconds or so. They're going to say, oh, he has a certain thing where he likes to criticize FBAs. This is something I just heard about this term less than 3 months ago. I'm getting, I learned what this term meant, right? Foundational black. I never even heard of this, right? And I grew up in the United States. I never heard of it until recently. There's some people that feeling, oh, I'm being hypercritical of black athletes or whatever. And I'm like, wait, where is this coming from? They can't even name the athletes. I'm being hypercritical of black American athlete when my favorite basketball player of all time is Kobe Bryant, when one of my favorite basketball players is, Michael Jordan, and my current favorite basketball player is Kawhi Leonard. Please explain yourself. Explain yourself. What are you talking about here? What do you mean, bro? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I think it's important that I say to these people that if that's the type of content that you guys are salivating for, and if that's the angle that you guys want to approach this channel with, please just go to another channel. This is not the channel. The channels and people that love to do, they do that for a living. They do that for a living. There are plenty of channels out. If that's the content you're looking for, you just go out there and look for it. This is not the place.